direction. Are you sure about this? There's no turning back. We've come so far. We cannot stop now. Well, indeed. The rest are ready. Well, whatever happens, just follow through the plan.
May I have your attention, please? All passengers of American Airlines Flight 11, please proceed to boarding gate A9 right now.
It's time.
At the time, airport security was poor. It ended up that inside the airport that we were actually passing through, they had required to go out of security, then back into security, which means that it can actually have a security leak, which eventually caused this problem. So this is where you have been hiding. What's that, Dad? Come to the sofa. You'll know when you see it.
What you have shown me?
Look inside. What do you see?
I see your firefighting helmet and your uniform and some old badges. Yeah, nothing much.
Look again.
Hey,
Know about September 11th?
well, we learned that in school.
Well, can you tell me what you know about it?
Well, teacher said that the terrorists hijacked some planes and crashed them into the buildings.
Well, you are not wrong, but there's much more to it than what you said. Here's a little hint. Why do you think this event is actually remembered until now?
Because I don't know.
How about this? I'll give you a brief rundown. Terrorists from Al Qaeda had planned a terrifying plot to actually go and perform the ultimate act of terrorism. So what would happen eventually was that they crashed planes, okay, in hijacked planes, and then after that it'll cause like terror in the whole United States. It happened that during that time, they just shut down all the airplanes in the air. The terrorists actually attacked like very important American icons, and they were actually like the Twin Towers, the North and South Tower of the World Trade Center, and the Pentagon, and actually supposedly the United States Capitol. However, they eventually crash landed in Shanghai, Pennsylvania. It was really chilling.
What does it have to do with you, Dad?
You'll know in a while. I'll tell you in a moment. At the time, I was a firefighter in Manhattan. I wouldn't expect what would happen that day. I couldn't believe that we had to take so many calls from 9/11. This was an accident beyond the scale of what all of us would think would happen. There are people jumping! No way! I remember seeing a plane. It's a big silhouette that confused me. That's low, I thought. Even so, it was still horrifying to watch the plane hit the tower. I remember standing where I was, all quiet, open, frozen. I wasn't sure how to feel. It was just confusion, panic, fear. I kept standing there until my fellow colleagues shouted out to me.
Oh, come here, quick, we have to go now.
Calls are coming from everywhere. The people around the area. People on foot. People in the damn building. Police department not doing any better. We need you to hit there ASAP.
Within minutes, we were in the area, trying to close in and do everything we could help. Evacuation was our main goal. When we got to ground zero, I could see it clearly. Smoke and fire from the top of the North Tower. From far, it was shocking. Up close, it was worse. Some of my colleagues rushed to help. They ran into nearby buildings, trying to get as many people to safety as possible. Many rushed into the North and South Towers. I was tasked with the evacuation of small nearby buildings. Some people in the North and South Towers were never seen again. Next, I am not entirely sure myself. I remember trying to locate people in the dark building. They were like calling for help, screaming, shouting, and I was trying to follow the voice. Well, because it was heavy, I left my gear at the entrance, and I really regret that. my torchlight would have been very, very useful. And when I finally found them, I brought them to a safe area outside the building. While I was outside, I heard another big ass explosion. It was actually, in fact, the south tower being hit by another plane. So, panicking, I actually ran out and went to see what exactly happened. Not only was there fire raging on like the hundreds of the floor, I was actually like, hearing like a rubble falling down, seeing big chunks of stuff flying down. And then the worst thing is that you see like computers flying, like flying computers. You see alarm clocks flying. You see time flying. You actually, in fact, see keyboards flying and everything. But the worst part was actually, in fact, seeing people. One of them was actually seemed to be like shoved out. So I saw that they, in fact, there's no way to go and get down, which was very, very sad. I saw a couple of people. I saw some of them, they jump in groups like paratroopers to their deaths. I'd also seen one lady, in fact, when she jumped up, her skirt was flying out. So, as a last means to go and get her modesty back, she just held it down, all the way down to her death. I rushed to get all those people out from the North Tower because there was no guarantee that, in fact, Twin Towers would still remain standing much longer after like a huge aircraft just crashed into it. So I had to go and bring out the survivors from the building. I was actually assigned to a lower floor just because they had more hope. So none of us had actually seen and actually would have thought of such a bad thing that actually would happen. It just happens all at once in a big shock. I was like a hopeless dilemma. Should I actually go in and actually stay there and go and get more people out and risk my life? Or should I just stand outside and watch and just hope that they'd be fine?
What do you choose, Dad?
Well, I chose to rush in like the US Marines. They just come in, evacuate the area, they risk their lives for everyone else. So when I left the building that day, I'd seen many people die, many people fall, and then after, just as I exit the building, the whole thing crashed. I would never forget that day. So horrific. I hope that we don't have to again face this threat in the future.